let's get into it, shall we? It's time for yet another DemoBowl final. This time between a SpikeWallman and BlissfulFire. They are in the inducement phase right now, so we are going to have a quick look at both of the rosters. SpikeWallman is playing some Dark Elf Blitzers. As you can see, two rerolls. Is there anything interesting? There's a Blodge Witch Elf. There's a plus strength Blitzer, and then there's 2 tackle pieces. That's probably good. And that runner with Dump Off Leader and Nerves of Steel. Pretty solid if you want to hand it off to someone else. Only running 11 players at a team value of 1500 here. Whereas if we have a look, I'm gonna scroll down here so we can see my game source. And that should hopefully... Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh. Seems like the game is live, so while I'm loading in, let's have a quick look at BlissfulFire's Lizardmen team. One kCKnoor with nothing. Oh, we're starting out here in the middle, and you can hear some noises, so we might as well get into it and have a look at what's actually going on. It's a rough start. The first thing that happens, throw a rock. Elf crucified, suffers an injury. Not necessarily what you want at the start. We can see that BlissfulFire being lower on team value here with only, well, with 1440 in my roster. So I might have bought that with petty cash. Yeah, there's enough, more than enough petty cash to do that. Has a shield leader, well, shield leader and the apothecary, whereas SpikeWallman bought a shield leader as well. Early start though, first turn. Gonna have to remember how to do everything. But we seem to be, let's put some skills on here. Go through what we have. So there's the obvious runner from SpikeWallman. Currently 2 pieces marking the ball here. Not everyone set up. The kCKnoor is still standing. Since we missed the first bit here while I was faffing about, I'm going to assume that this block did not work out at... Well, actually, no. Because this kCKnoor has nothing. So I don't think this guy must have thrown a block here. That's a 1-die POW, though. Good start. I'm going to... see if I can... Oops. That's probably what I want. Okay. Let's, let me lower my in-game audio here again on my thing. So, what do we have from BlissfulFire's side? Mighty Blow Saurus. Actually, 3 Block Saurai is pretty great. The Bonehead just failed. That's not what you want to see. 2 Mighty Blow pieces. Unfortunately, one of them only has a has Mighty Blow, not Block. But that doesn't matter when Elfbanger is KO'd. First thing that happens. BlissfulFire is probably pretty pleased. Then the scary thing, and I think that's partly why on paper BlissfulFire's team looks a bit, you know, not exactly at the TV where you expect it to be, considering... I was going to say considering that there are no spares, but there is a spare. Unless that person already got injured. No. Nope. There's a full 11 on the pitch here, but there are 2 plus agility skinks, which really fucking annoying. Considering these guys have stunties, so they can just run through everything. And that means SpikeWallman has no good way of, you know, making sure that the ball is safe. On the other hand, of course, from SpikeWallman's perspective, that doesn't really matter that much, does it? Because the one piece that's holding on to the ball right now is the dump-off runner that has Nerves of Steel. And Nerves of Steel dump-off, you know, that just means, well, he's going to throw it to someone else. And also, since none of the skinks have things like diving tackle, dodging away from them is always going to be just a 2+. Worst case scenario, for most of these, you could just blitz away from. The Witch Elves, of course, haven't done much here in the first half, but they do have Frenzy, which is pretty decent against most skinks without sidestep. Because they are still hard to knock down. I'm sorry. Whew. I guess it's an early morning. It's just that I took some big breaths to start talking, and then the rest of me was like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, well, it seems like Spike Wallman has found some more skinks to move away. Basing the this Sorai here, yeah, it doesn't have block, but it's still, you kind of putting a lot of trust in your Armor Value 7 there. That's actually something we haven't talked about. Santamon points out, but we do have Sweltering Heat currently happening, which of course means that if after the end of the drive everyone rolls a die, or every player, and on a 1 the player collapses and is sent off. Question is, who is that better for? And like, Elves can usually play a few pieces down, but then again, if the Lizardmen get a few pieces up, they can get even more use out of their Sorai, because then maybe the Elves can't stop them from running around and giving easier blitzes to everyone. It should also be mentioned that the Lizards do have a spare player, which the Elves don't. There we go. The trust in Armor Value 7 was well placed, apparently, because it's still working. But with this guy positioned here, Elf and Kill has a really hard time moving forward. It's currently just running forward. Well, not anymore because he's knocked down. So now out of scoring position. Otherwise it would have been a 3+2+ with a 2+ GFI to run it in. We'll see what Spike Wallman does here. I think, yeah, already 2 out. And the unfortunate thing for Spike Wallman is that these are probably the most important pieces for Spike Wallman to have on the pitch at the moment. What you really want to do as Dark Elves versus Lizardmen is to get rid of these skinks as soon as possible. But that's going to be a lot harder when there's no tackle around. So this might require some extra thinking and strategizing. Holy shit, I'm not sure why I'm yawning so much. The rest of you guys who's been watching me since the start of the stream, like 3 hours ago, you know that this, I guess it's the excitement of another DemoBowl final that's just, you know. There is a possibility for a surf here, but there needs to be an assist here. This guy can blitz, push over here, and then the Witch Elf can do. But I think the safer thing, if you wanted to do the surf, would be to start with this and end up... Wait, where... Yeah, you'd end up over here, which would actually be quite difficult to surf, so, yeah. Spike Wallman instead deciding to swap sides, which is usually a decent idea. Because it means you have to run all your lizards back and forth. They are fast, but if some of them get stuck on someone, it's going to be slightly different. Might elect to leave this piece here. Here's the problem, though. With no tackle... Oh. A 1 on the dodge. Let's see what the reroll does. The reroll is good. Now, the scary thing here, right? Well, partly scary, is that these guys can both... Well, this guy and this guy can both just run through here with stunty agility. And then you could try and run the third one through. Like this way. And get a blitz. However, I think the reason Spiked Wallman is less worried about that is because if this BlissfulFire here commits all of those resources here, the dump of Nerves of Steel would just get passed to like this guy or the Witch Elf down here, and then on their turn just run and hand it off to someone else and run over here. So, we'll see what happens. These are essentially all the pieces... Well, actually, everyone can move. There are some few different scenarios. BlissfulFire could go for the... Let's just put... let's just put elf screens down. And that seems to be partly it. But with the Sora here and the last one, well, there's one here that can move a bit further if it needs to and get to over here. But there needs to be something that's, you know, blocking here, right? Ooh. Dodge. Saving the day. See if it's still good. Nope. But it has occupied... It's taken up... Like, this lineman has managed to keep both of these pieces here, which I'm pretty sure Spiked Wallman is happy with. What are my thoughts on the Dark Elf runner? I don't think it's needed on a Dark Elf team. That said, if you do have like Dump Off Nerves of Steel is a great combo. But it's also... The reason I don't like it is because it kind of relies on you putting a piece in harm's way to utilize Dump Off. And then it's kind of good. Okay, okay. So BlissfulFire here deciding to not push too hard. Maybe a case could be made. Oh, and running that guy back. Feeling, I guess, the same that no, I don't actually need to push hard and fast right now. If I have the option to hurt some skinks, I'm going to take that. That option has now been taken, as it were. But I'm just going to assume that BlissfulFire runs up here. Like I said previously, when you do have this type of this is... Ooh, that's a bit scary, though. When you do have this type of piece, you don't necessarily mind getting punched, right? It's just that it would be nice if you didn't get punched. But that we're now there's definitely elves in scoring position. Let's have a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that guy's in scoring position. That guy's in scoring position. This guy is in fact also in scoring position. We'll see where this Witch Elf runs. Maybe up to here. Oh no! Oh, that's smart. Okay, making actually basing the skinks here. Now the very agile skinks are still free to move, but it's probably also skinks that are, you know, you'd be less likely to tie them down anyways. See what happens here. I think it'll be interesting to see if Spiked Wallman does go for the early touchdown here under the with the idea that having a touchdown in a final is, well, it's like having a touchdown in a final, right? Like being one up is always good, and there's still the chance that these pieces can come back, and there's also the chance that sweltering heat might hit and remove some pieces from the Lizardmen side. Yes, I think there is a wrestle skink here somewhere. I'm okay, I'm I'm doing double planning here. Casting Blood Bowl, talking about podcasts. With that said, BlissfulFire does not seem to be having focused too much on actually stopping Spike Wallman from scoring here. Yes, you can move a skink up here, and unfortunate for BlissfulFire there. This skink can also just run through and be like, hey, I want to hang out somewhere. Now, yeah, none of the skinks are actually positioned next to an elf. So this might just be a case of where Spike Woolman, you know, just runs it in. All of these are... Yeah, this is a 1-die, but it doesn't help, like, pushing this guy back turns this into a 1-die. They could normally easily dodge out, but now there's a prehensile tail here, so it's a +3 instead of a +2. And while +3 is still pretty easy, it's not as easy. Like, the failure state, failing a dodge here is pretty scary if you're a Spike Wallman. So, we'll see what they do. Okay, sorry. This is slightly awkward. Oh, and there we go. Sorry for being a bit absent there. It turns out I've made a mistake in my planning. Okay, so Spike Wallman deciding that, you know what, having one touchdown is better then having no touchdowns. We're going to swap and look at this side instead. Let's see what happened to Sweltering Heat. Literally everyone but Elf Powerhead succeeded in their roles, which must feel pretty good for BlissfulFire. We have, yeah, Elf the Powerhead, no SPPs. One of the Blitzers made it back in, and it is the scariest of the Blitzers. But that's still 9 Elves versus 11 Lizards. And if you hear any noise in the background, it's because... Oh, sorry everyone. That noise means that Gajuka just resubscribed for 15 months in a row. Thanks so much. I'm sorry you didn't get a pop-up, but I decided that, you know what, maybe, yeah. Decided that we'd give the whole screen to the final here. Even though I'm slightly all over the place. Oh, and another thrown rock. Back to back. KO'd instantly, taking it from 11 to 9 to 10 to 9. Oh, and bring me back to life. Managed to grab it instantly. I want to have a quick look over here. Yeah, back to back. That's unfortunate for BlissfulFire, as that's one of the best skinks in the sense that it has plus agility, so it can run pretty much anywhere it wants. This is an interesting choice to make. Going for the runner that has no block skills at all, breaking armor and then stunning, and leaving the Elf Banger, the block tackle mighty blow blitzer here free. Might get based by player 1, might get based by something else, but I am pretty sure we're just gonna see this this blitzer here hunt skinks for the 3 turns they have left to do so. Oh, okay, so center cage here, but putting skinks behind it, I think, well, I don't know how they're gonna protect this cage properly. Like, because none of these... Oh, okay, so this piece could, for example, run over here. And then this piece can run over here. There's also this plus strength piece here. It's a bit of a wide or longer cage than we normally see. Let's see, is there any way for Elf Banger here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Oh, well, that's one skink knocked down. Unfortunately, 7 does not break armor value 7. It has to be an 8. But it seems obvious that we're going for let's try and murder all the elves strat. And it seems like we're going to see some elf screaming here. Giving a lot of room to the lizards though. Oh, going for the 1 die. Okay, well, to be fair, Spike Woman does have 2 rerolls left on 3 turns, so maybe that is a decent choice. We'll see if Elf and Kill here wants to dodge out. Nope. instead electing to go for the punishing bag strategy. See how well that works out. Well, so far so good. The Hollywood Elves man is standing, and so does Elfin Kill. Earfart the kKnoor is having no luck with the 3-die blocks so far. But if Destroyer... Oh, dodge. There is now a path free, though, where the skinks can run through, together with at least 2 Sorai. We'll see how far they want to push forward, though. This is their turn 6, and they don't necessarily want to score before turn 8. They can help it. Oh, going for the blitz here with the piece that does not have block, being punished for it. But it does mean there is slightly more room for player 1 to move. Wow. They can make it, they are really fast, they can make it really far. And there's another Saurus here in the back as well. Right. Elves. It's actually surprising, it feels like there are so many more Lizardmen on the pitch than there are Elves right now, but it's because there are 4 here and 1 here. Interesting. I would expect this guy to go stand over here, but maybe they're not too worried about this downed piece here. Oh, and that's the punish. The blitz and basing of the skinks really paid off. The dodge to 2 into 2 failed. Now the big question, of course, is what do you do in this situation? The absolute best piece for this is over here, but that piece is gonna be hard to get over there. You could try and get the elf here to do something about it. Give an assist here and a 1-die into a 1-die. But if that fails, nope, it seems like instead they go for the 3-die block, and it's been paying off. The skink is down, and there's a piece here that that can put an extra tackle zone on the ball. Definitely not what BlissfulFire wants to see here. But this setup, I guess they're not trying to go for too many tackle zones on the ball. I'm actually quite surprised by this. Because this piece can clear this guy away, and then it's just 1 tackle zone, and then it's agility 3 pickup and 1 dodge out. Yeah, there's tackle here, but this piece has agility 4. Was that really the right move? I'm not sure. I don't think I would have done that, but we'll see what happens here. The other option, of course, is you instead try and remove this piece, which is harder, is strength 4. But if you can get an assist up here, or rather remove this assist, which in any case, if you can push this guy back instead, this piece is then free to blitz away this guy, which means you remove the tackle. But also with one reroll still around, do you really worry too much about the tackle? Just push this guy away. Push this guy away. Pick it up. Dodge out. Run it in. Wow, it's harder now though. Because now it's 2/2+ without a reroll. It's still very doable, but it is harder. And then, of course, the question is, do you score on turn 7 rather than turn 8? And you know what? Maybe you do. In this case, all of a sudden, you're the one with more KO pieces. And it's going to be hard to run away from Elfbanger here. But it is 2+, 2+. What's 3+, 2+, 2+, 2+, 2+. It's a lot of rolls. So see what the plan is here. The other option is to go back here, but you would get blitzed again on the next turn, which seems needlessly scary. And there are no elves in the back here. Oh. But BlissfulFire instead goes back. Alchemist 00. Just subscribe to Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, and welcome to subscribers. I guess for this reason, we might go into this then. Okay. The welcome to Elfing. Getting rid of one of the Sorai. Here comes the blitz, sidestep, pushing forward. Ooh. Of course, that does put this piece in scoring position now that the skink wasn't stunned. Other than that, yeah, we actually have this piece in scoring position as well. Oh! And that's a snake eye on the dodge. And the lizards actually have a shot at this. It's a weird one, but it's there. Yep. They might actually... Here's the tricky thing, though. This is a straight... Okay. Yeah, there we go. Push to the side. Gonna... Yep. Follow up. Now, and it has to be this piece. Because this piece here will lose movement by going backwards, right? Or, well, it costs movement. You know what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't make it. This piece can. Oh. And that's it. First half done. 1-1. Was an interesting choice by BlissfulFire to not try and go for the more 2+s there on turn 7, instead hoping that there'd be a better opportunity on turn 8, and it turned out by having the Witch Elf Snake Eye, the dodge, there definitely was a better opportunity, and the score is tied. Okay, one of the skinks back for the second half, still one out, but remember the Lizardmen did start with a 1 spare player. Let's have a look at the sweltering heat over on the Lizardmen side. It's both the agility pieces. That is really unlucky for BlissfulFire. And over on Spiked Wallman's side, it's the Hollywood Elfman. One lineman with the block. I'm sure Spiked Wallman is pretty pleased with that. in that it's now it's 10v10. And the things that BlissfulFire's Return of War are missing currently are skinks. And that's not a position you want to be in if you are playing Lizardmen. Pitch invasion! Let's see who's stunned. Ouch! The Elves suffer 4. The Lizard only 2. But it is the kCKnoor and the one of the Sorai. Seems like they're setting up for a sideline cage here. In the meantime, I will get this cat. Okay. See if how the pickup goes. Electing to use, or at least that's what it looks like. Oh, Banger is gonna get a mighty blow punch, but it's not good enough. It's just a 5 on the armor roll, and that's nowhere near close to breaking armor. That is a failed pickup. Let's see if I don't think that was rerolled. No. Now the question is, can anyone get over there? So number of the elf can kinda. Well, it's actually not that hard. It's a 2+. It's 4 2+s to get over here for number of the elf. Let's see. There's a plus strength blitzer, but that blitzer is. Here comes the surf! No! No! And this is not where you want to be right now. Because, yep, there we go. Saved. Is this happening? I want it to happen. That is not what's happening. I'm sad. Okay, so not too much of a threat. Well, I say not too much of a threat, but of course the threat is always going to be that what if Cutlass here doesn't actually pick the ball up on its turn, and the reroll fails. Oh, here we go. Banger is stunned. See if they do have some options here, right? They can pick the ball up just like that, which they did. I guess electing to move the ball forward, and I think we have to remember that this is the final, so someone has to win. If this is a tie after the second half, then we're gonna go to a third half. Which, I don't think. Well, you know what? Spiked Walnut might actually be slightly happier about that, in that the skinks are usually the pieces that get that suffer casualties first. But that said, now we do have some more pieces from Spite Wallman coming back as well. Unfortunately, Elfbanger, of course, is stunned, but there is another tackle piece right here. And it seems like the tackling is about to begin. About to begin, rather. Unfortunately, the skinks are still standing. And Elves Crucified here is probably going to take quite a few punches. We'll see what... Oh, no. Oh. Did Spite Wallman just forget about a certain downed elf over here? Because it certainly seems like it. Remember, this is an elf. This is a witch elf that has jump up, so it has more mobility than you think. But I don't think leaving it on the floor was the intended thing to do there. Now, payback onto Elves Crucified here, as the previous push skull was turned into a 3-die push skull. Or push skull, I can't remember which. It has quite effectively blocked this path though. And we'll see where they go. There are some options. I see that there's some talking about kickoff events in chat and how it might not be entirely fair, which is part of the deal with Blood Bowl. If you wanted the game to be fair, you couldn't really play with these different teams, since they're all balanced for different team values and they have different win rates and that kind of stuff. So it's always going to be on a, in my mind at least, on a quite a, let's say, someone just have to decide on what level of RNG you want. I think Blood Bowl currently has quite a good one, where there is a lot of RNG and you're almost never out of it. But that, of course, also means that sometimes you will be punished by the dice, which do suck in a tournament final. I don't think we've seen it today, because of course most coaches, especially in Blood Bowl 2, are prepared for that. There are ways to mitigate it if you really wanted to, but removing some of the RNG in favor of some type of competitive idea seems to go counter to the spirit and soul of Blood Bowl itself, if that makes sense. Oh, that's a rough turn for Spite Wallman. One stun over here and a KO on a dodge piece as the skinks move around. That said, I talked previously about maybe the skinks wanting to score quickly, and actually, you know, looking at the score, of course, they probably don't. They want to score on turn 16 because that's how they win. The onus is on Spite Wallman to steal the ball so that they can score. But we'll see how this works out. The plus strength piece from the Dark Elf side here is running in for a 3-die, and it's good. Unfortunately, the skinks are still on the board here. Oh, and there's the one. Is it going to be rerolled? Yes, it is. Spike Woman, 2 rerolls. BlissfulFire, also 2 rerolls. Okay. There is also, by the way, an elf over here. That falls down probably to Prehensile Tail. No, rolling a 1. That's true. There is still a wizard here that we shouldn't remember, so that's probably BlissfulFire is essentially ace in the hole. And for once, Elfbanger is actually still standing. Not stunned, not on the floor. Unfortunately, Elves Crucified can't say the same thing. Now, the sideline cage here is, of course, yet another opportunity for Spike Wallman to surf player 1. We'll see if he takes it, or if he decides to try and do something else. Interesting not following up here, because it means that if we get more pushes... See, so now we've effectively freed up that piece, and that piece could run forward. So probably not going to see a surf here. Flip side, of course, is that Elves Crucified can come in here on the back, blitz out this piece, and go stand next to the skink. And it will be kind of hard to knock that piece away, because blodge and sidestep can be quite rough to deal with if you don't have tackle. Let's see how it works out. Here comes the blitz. Oh, I'm sure Spike Woolman is happy about that. Last blitz on a skink. Did not go as well. Well, actually, it went just as well because it failed the armor. Again, that's not what you want, though. Now, there are 2 blitzers over here that probably need to move somewhere. The question is, where do you put them? You could put Number of the Elf here, for example, and run this guy back. Because you probably do want some more stuff over here, but Spike Woman elects to move them more all back and see what they can do. Oh, that is leaving a lot of room for the for the skinks. Like, there's lots of space here if you wanted to just make a cage. All you have to do is get rid of this piece, which does commit a lot of resources, but since pretty much everyone is free, you should be able to make a 4 Sorai cage right here. Yeah, well, that is still gonna leave this dude standing. We'll see if Spike Woman here could go here. Oh. Okay, so wanting to be next to the skink, but not to give a free block to player 1 here. I thought he might go down here to stand next to this skink, so that this skink can't dodge away without using, you know, without having to use a reroll if the dodge fails. But of course, standing here means that he could actually have been surfed by putting everyone next around him. Oh. So instead, electing to put 2 skinks on the tackle piece. That's an interesting choice. Let's see. Is this guy in scoring position? Yes. Because, of course, Spike Wallman can surf this skink if he wants. We'll see if that happens, because if these guys just move up, yeah, move up like that, that's actually pretty efficient. Here comes the surf. No, it doesn't. It's an injury. One of the skinks are out. It's out. Down to 2 skinks on the pitch. Is it too late though? Find out soon. Here's the second skink. Oh. It's a stun. Still on the pitch. We'll see what they do, because I don't think BlissfulFire here wants to dodge through any of this elf screen. On the other hand, of course, 3 turns left. I'm pretty sure BlissfulFire would rather just score on turn 16 if possible, making it as difficult as possible for Spike Wallman to tie the game at the end of the second half. Comes the blitz. It's on Elfin tier. Mighty blow, not doing enough there. But it seems like the cage is moving forward slightly. And with this said, even if BlissfulFire, of course, wants to score in turn 16, there is the chance that Spike Wallman might actually stop that from happening. Elf screens might means that there are things that the skinks need to dodge through, which is not necessarily what BlissfulFire wants to do. And the Crocs is down. Strength 4 doing work, then following not up. Not entirely sure why that happened. Maybe a misclick. So we'll see how. Oh, that is a 1. It's going to be re-rolled, and that's a snake eye. That is unfortunate for Spike Wallman. We should also remember that if this were to go into overtime, of course, neither team will get new re-rolls. They will keep the ones they had at the end of the second half. And we should also remember that BlissfulFire still has a wizard, and could start a turn, for example, by just getting rid of, or trying to get rid of one of the elves here and then just run through. But it seems like the cage is going to shift over to this side, which is a pretty strong play here, I think, from BlissfulFire. Making sure that this skink has a lot fewer steps to move down, because there's probably going to be some maneuvering to get in there at the end. Seems like it's a pretty strong cage at the moment. Oh, and a bonehead. That is not what BlissfulFire wanted. Bonehead means that this has no assist. And it's going to be just a regular 1 die against the blodge piece, which is maybe not what they want to do. And that's true, the Bonehead did eat the Blitz. I totally missed that. It's a lot of icons over one another. I don't think the Blitz in itself matters that much, especially if it's happening here. But it does mean that we're not going to see... Oh! 2 rerolls. This is turn 15. Maybe this is the time to... No! It is not! Elf Crucified helps the grass take another skink. It was Apo though, and the skink has been returned to the side lines. There's only 1 skink left on the pitch now though. Ooh, that's a bold move to do that. So, Spite Woolman here going for the elf screen, because he knows that it's most... Okay, here we go. And it is good. That's a knockdown. Let's see what the... But it's not a stun. It's not a stun. But it is... Hang on. Hang on. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, shit. Well. And this is turn 15. This is premium elf bullshit happening right here. But no! Elf bullshit denied. The intercept comes in. And Destroyer is in scoring position. Holy shit. We were talking about the RNG back and forth. Here comes the run in. And it's good. It's good. Wow, what an ending. That said, Spite Woolman has 1 turn left. And it's going to be very tricky, but the Elves are able to do 1 turn touchdowns. However, it is still sweltering heat. The sweltering heat could also fuck this up. But that was very well played by Spike Woolman, waiting until the last minute, making sure that the cage, or rather the screen, was up, and then going for the dodge blitz. But unfortunately, the intercept on the 6 was there, and BlissfulFire, who had up till that point done a pretty solid cage game on their own, decided to run it in with probably the piece they weren't expecting. How has the sweltering heat affected our players? Well, there is the runner and Elfbanger are both out, and so is Elfin Kill. And it seems to me that Spite Woolman don't really trust in his ability to do a 1-turner with that few players, and that might very well be correct. The setup is just not Good enough. Instead, going for what looks like a vanity pass. BlissfulFire not using the whisper there in the game. Taking it home with a clutch intercept. And that's the end of it. And that means that Melodic Elf Metal versus Return of War in the final of the Mr. Hadwick DemoBowl Invitational. Actually, I don't even remember what we're actually calling the tournament anymore. Everyone just calls it the DemoBowl. BlissfulFire. Congratulations, Spike Wallman. I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone watching feels with you right now after that 6+ intercept. But well played by both coaches, and it's an interesting game to watch. Some back and forth there. I was not expecting Spike Wallman to begin with to actually get the ball from the Lizards and being able to move it as quickly as they did. Let's have a look here. Yeah, we can... I don't think these matter that much. Well, lots of ones, some twos for the Elves. They, of course, want it the other way around and then be super happy. This is quite impressive in how badly they dodged, to be honest. And, well... Whew. What a game, what a game, what a game.